Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. We are live, and we got a special guest tonight, Aaron Armstrong. I'm very excited to have him here. It's good to see one of the patrons here, and obviously got Michael Kahn, Peter Cruikshank, and just Bill hanging around. How are you guys doing?
Not bad.
Fantastic, dude. Fantastic. It's been a good day. It's been a good day.
Pretty good, today, on it, PJ.
Definitely. I went to a fishery and caught a good few, so I was happy enough. You know what I mean? Caught my first mirror today as well. First ever mirror caught. So, yeah.
That's good,
Did
yeah.
you see your face in it and scare yourself?
Yeah, well, no, it's weird because they're not scaly. You know, like normal carp, they're not scaly. So it's like they've got skin. Well, I know they've got skin, but like it's a bit more human. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah, so
they're
Aaron,
pretty cool.
So Aaron, you woke up at 5 a.m. to get you, mate, so I really appreciate that.
No, that's okay. No, it's good, man. I thought I'd reach out and have a chat. I think I approached you a while ago and said let's have a chat. But I just I don't think I don't really debate anymore, but I listen to a lot of flat earth stuff for some reason. Well, not that I ever debated, but I don't engage in any debates. I just listen to a lot.
Why do you find yourself watching it a lot?
I think it's just a habit, Michael. I guess I got into this at the end of 2015, and I think there's a part of it is around seeing what develops, what new things happen. I mean, the flat Earth arena has changed a lot since 2015 or early 2016.
Yeah,
vastly different, probably 180 degrees different, and I can explain that if you want. But I still think there's interesting characters. I think there's something about Flatzoid that interests me, that entertains me. As frustrating as it can be, I think there's something. I think there's something about him that it keeps drawing me back to watching him. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your support, man, and I mean you are one of my patrons, so it's awesome to have you. Even though you don't agree with me, you do support me, so that's a cool thing. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, he frustrates me as well because he knows too damn much.
No,
You know what I mean?
I don't know that much.
You know too much more than me. That's what it is. That's what frustrates me. You know more than me.
But yeah, Aaron, so you're into fishing and a lot of actually breeding with fish and stuff. So I found that really interesting.
Yeah. I was explaining before. I've got a lot of fish tanks. So it's just a hobby that I think when you don't know much about it, you can kill a lot of fish and you can spend a lot of money. But the more you know about it, and I've been doing it for 40 years. So the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I find it as a really nice pastime.
Definitely.
I used to sell them. So I have a look at ornamentive shrimp or something like that on the internet, but look at freshwater. I don't look at saltwater. And there's a craze kind of at the moment around these beautiful little freshwater shrimp which live in the creeks of Taiwan and also Indonesia. And they only grow to like maybe an inch long. And they're really hard to keep because they depend on their water parameters to molt and breed and all that. So if you don't have it perfect, they don't molt. Wow. So I've been doing that and I became quite successful and I guess specialized and also kind of known, I guess, in Australia because it's not a huge scene. But we ship them in the mail, just in the normal post. We put them in little bags with a little bit of oxygen and put it in a styrofoam box and just stick it in with every other piece of mail that's going around the country. And just packing them up was causing me anxiety that they might die or they might get stuck in the mail and stuff. So I stopped doing that. So I don't sell them anymore. It's just all for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the most exotic fish I've ever owned is a Madagascan piranha. That's about it. I had a male and a female, so I had to separate the tank because the female doesn't like the male at all. But my favorite pastime was feeding them the bloodworms.
Are they the ones who? Are they got the red belly? Are they the?
They got the red
Are they got
belly.
a red?
Yeah, and then they got the almost like spots on them. But piranhas are actually very calm. I mean, how the people portray
they're really nice fish without.
Yeah, how the people portray piranhas is totally wrong.
Unless you're a dead cow in a Amazonian creek or river.
They got.
Hey, tell me about that baboon thing last night. That was crazy.
Oh yeah,
That was funny.
because we were busy here, and my wife said it sounds like someone's in the yard, because you can hear the leaves rustling on the floor and stuff and going on. It sounded like someone was on the roof. So I said, okay, guys, just hold on. Just got to quickly go check out. Well, I open the door. I go outside. It's dark outside. Can't see anything. And as soon as I get to the back side of the house, this baboon jumps out the tree in front of me, lands in front of me, and just runs away. Let's just say I almost shit my pants.
How big was it?
About the size of my 2-year-old daughter.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a full-grown male with fangs and stuff.
So I would say it's
So
like maybe a young baboon.
Nice.
So you say that you live in the bush. I'm not trying to dox you or anything.
Yeah, but I live in the bush, yeah.
But do you drive? You're a panel spray painter.
Yeah.
So do you drive to a city or a town or something where that business is, or do you do that yourself?
No. We actually we're a town in the bush. So,
okay.
My work's about 3 kilometers away. Yeah, and if I go 5 kilometers the other way, then I'm totally like in game reserve. So it's like very awesome. I can see a rhino just by driving past the fence if I wanted to.
That's just crazy to contemplate that. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
I was going to go to Africa at one stage, but it's so expensive to get there. And well, it was at the time, and everything was expensive, kind of, to go and see the wild, the big five or whatever they call them. So I chose a cheaper holiday instead.
I'd love to go to both places. I'd love to go to Africa and Australia. I mean, in England, I think the scariest thing we've got is a cat.
Well, I actually I got family in Perth and in Sydney, so I would love to go to Australia to visit them sometime.
Well, they couldn't be further apart, man.
Yeah, it's very far apart. It's crazy. It's right next to each other, but I think you're like, 5-6 hours apart from border to border? The start of the border.
By plane?
Yeah, by
Flats,
plane.
can I just...
Perth to Sydney.
Flats, can I just...
Sydney's like
oh my God.
3 hours, a 3 days drive.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it'd be nice to go to Africa and that. Well, I'd love to go there. I'd love to come and see like flats in South Africa. That'd be excellent. Wicked.
So
Can I just shout out Julie? Just say hello to Julie. Is that all right?
I was just gonna ask you if you wanted to.
Oh, okay. Nice one. Hiya, Julie. How you doing, beautiful?
Julie, he was by the way, he was so happy and parading his awesome bracelet you gave him.
She knows that anyway. I think she knows.
So hey, everybody in chat, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming. Good to see you guys. Yeah, Rachie, they are actually quite calm. I wouldn't want to swim with them if they're hungry though. And that's the only thing. But Aaron, what exactly are you wanting to chat about, mate?
Well, I guess I got. You can. I guess if you read my YouTube comments, like they're always kind of respectful, but I guess I don't listen via Ellemnet or anything. It's just or Discord, just purely YouTube, and that stops me from getting too out of control. So I guess I will disclose that I do have what would be described as a mental health illness, where I can't regulate my emotions very well. So. If I'm shocked or if I'm scared or surprised or sad or angry, I have difficulty managing those like a normal person would. And it's not a chemical imbalance. It's just a results of a pretty shit childhood. But so when I was engaged in more of the flat earth stuff, I just become totally, just too angry or too surprised or too hurt that someone called me something that was unfair, and so I really had to pull myself away from that, and that's why I only listen to things on YouTube. But as I was saying earlier, I think there's something I think you have a lot of Globers on your channel. A lot of people, the majority of the people on YouTube would be Globers leaving. You only have a couple of flat earthers leaving comments there, and it's a lot of people that are just giving you feedback negatively, usually, and calling you a whole bunch of names, which I've engaged in as well. I'm not going to hide that.
Yeah, but I say out of that, you have been the most respectful, one of the most respectful, sir.
Yeah, and I try to be, but I also struggle with boundaries as well. So I can't read people very well. So people their body language might be saying, look, we're not interested in that conversation. But for me, it takes me a while to get that. So sometimes, like, I've asked you about your wife and stuff before, and you say, look, that's not a topic I want to discuss. And for me, it's like, well, it's a perfectly reasonable question, and it's not going to dox you and all. You know what I mean? I kind of I struggle with those things. But anyway, that's So I guess what really I got really shocked when you started to pull apart that ex-flat. I don't think it was an ex-flat earther, but that preacher guy the other day with the big beard, the barbarian guy.
Oh, the guy we're calling we a born again barbarian. We're saying
yeah,
looks like
yeah.
Rasputin.
So he does. He very much does. And I was really shocked by the tone of that show because I think it was really below you and below your show. You've got a guy there who you disagree with, and it was really it was hard to listen to because he wasn't there to defend himself, which I think is one of the most important things. And it just really lowered the tone of the show for me of what so you and your team, PJ and Michael and the New Yorker, what's his name from Oakley,
Neil.
really getting angry at this guy and really being really attacking and horrible and very unchristian. And I know that most of you profess to be Christians.
Okay.
And sure, go, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna defend that by saying I have invited him for a chat. He ignores me flat out. He calls me a Satanist because I'm a flat earther Christian. He says all Christians are Satanists and not true Christians because we believe in the flat earth. Then he goes, takes the Bible, misrepresents what scripture says, and carries on telling us we are Satanists. So I will get offended by that. And if the guy can't show respect or even have the decency to respond to me, I'm going to attack him that way. So frankly, I think it's not Christian-like of him to be doing what he's doing, and it's my right to be able to stand up for myself and say what he's saying is total bullshit.
Yeah, man, I agree with your opinion of it. That's fine. And I probably should have premised it by saying, it's your show. You can do what you want, and I can turn it off. It's just YouTube. So I have no right to tell you what to do. But what I should have said, first of all, is I think you're better than that, and I think there's better content. And I thought just discussion with me would be better than that because it does lower the tone. And I don't know what it is like. I don't know what the word is, but, if you're all in a group, it's kind of like peer pressure. And before you know it, it's like this crowd mentality where you're doing things or saying things that you don't actually or wouldn't say at another time if you had time to think about it. And I guess you've got, just the overall tone. I thought, come on, man, you're better than that. You're absolutely better than that. I was a bit distressed, but as I said, it's your show, and you can do exactly whatever you want.
Can I speak on that?
No, go ahead. Say something.
I'm a new believer, and I know God don't need no defense, but when I hear people misrepresenting or attacking, it does trigger me. I can't help that.
Exactly. Can I? Yeah.
It really does affect me in the spirit, to hear God getting attacked. And it's silly because it really don't need no defense. But what can I say? We all live in flesh.
Definitely. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, we're still human at the end of the day, and we've still got a sinful heart, a sinful nature. At the end of the day, we aspire to be good, but we're still in a sinful body. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to be good, and our conviction is, like afterwards, is like, oh, it was probably a bit harsh and stuff like that. but we're just human at the end of the day as well, and we do defend ourselves. And like Michael says, God doesn't need a fighter. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't need somebody to fight his corner at all. He doesn't want us to do it that way. But we are just human, and we do get offended by the things that we strongly believe in. If someone is attacking us, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do things the wrong way, like I did with Sergio, which I apologize to him. I didn't regret what I did, what I said, but I regretted how I did it. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're just human at the end of the day, Aaron, and I do regret a lot of things I do.
And remember, we all have passions. I mean, just like you are. You have passions, and I mean, if someone's going to cross the line with you, you're also going to get a bit, how can I say, rowdy. I mean, I'm a guy. I was born in South Africa. We are. How can I say? You learn to be men's men. You're not some kind of pansy. If someone's going to be with you, you go, oh, it's fine. You fight back, and that's how I'm brought up. I mean, I was brought up.
I get all that. I get it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get all that, guys. I guess it's avoidable. But again, it's not my show. If that's the tone of show you want to have, then you go for it, man. And it's up to me whether I make that decision or not to go with that. Hey, I guess one of the things that I will add is, and something I guess I'm slightly proud of, is that one of the things I noticed in Flat Earth, a lot of the time you'll defend each other's behavior around bad behavior to a certain point. And I know there's lots of big schisms between a lot of the bigger groups, but I dislike FTFE as much as you guys do. I think he's an absolute wanker. I think he's a liar. I think he's a liar, and I think he's an idiot, and I really dislike him. I like that guy. What's the Australian guy that searches for oil and minerals via satellites and stuff with the gravimeter? What's his name?
Full Bell.
Tony. No, Tony.
Tony.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's an idiot as well when he debates. He squeals like a little girl.
Sorry. I just got to say, Thomas Larson, thank you for becoming an Alpha Wolf. Thank you for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. Oh, and thanks to everybody that just joined. Sorry, Aaron, gone.
No, that's okay. So one of the things I do is I look at them and say, look, that's poor behavior by either person. And I call it out. I don't care if it's poor behavior from a flat earther or a poor behavior from a glober. I don't really mind. But Michael, you're on there and you're talking. You called all globers PEDOSs last week. I won't say it out loud. You stand by that?
I did, yeah. I will explain it, because someone who is either in chat or watching the show come into Ellemnet and started spamming child porn links.
Right, they did. Yeah.
And like no one's going to admit it. Like, so like if nobody's going to admit it, I'd tie you all with the same brush until somebody admits it.
Yeah. I don't think Michael doesn't literally mean that every glober is one of them. It's basically it's because of what happened. It was an out of order thing that happened. It was terrible and it was disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Nobody just as well nobody pressed the links, man. Do you know what I mean? If you press the link, you've been in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah. If I'd have accidentally clicked on one of them links, I could have got locked up.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand that. I mean, I'm exactly the same with Michael on that. I agreed with them on that. Definitely, I would tie him with the same brush until I found out. Yeah.
I will say this, Aaron. Like you've come in and spoke, so I class you not on that list.
Exactly.
I don't know yet, but I'd have my suspicions who it is. But yeah, I'll stand by.
It certainly wasn't me, because I wasn't. I only just joined Ellemnet about a week ago, and then I realised that it was
it's definitely not. We know it's not you. Definitely not you. You know that.
No, but I guess that's the kind of inequality kind of things that I see that distress me. And again, it's only me. It's only me saying that. But when I listen to your shows, Flatzoid, and listen to the things that you say, and then see the actions that you do, sometimes there is quite glaring dishonesty or disparity or whatever. And for me, I go, what is he doing? What is he thinking? But perhaps you don't see it. Maybe you don't see it because you're in too deep.
Would you be able to explain to me where?
Well, just wait 1 second, though. But like that with what I said, Aaron, right? Nobody in YouTube chat mostly Globers or flat earthers knew what went off in Ellemnet with that and
Yeah,
why.
yeah, I get
You
that.
know
Yeah,
what
I get that, Michael.
I mean? Maybe
Yeah, I didn't know that. I
maybe
didn't know that. So that that
maybe I
makes
shouldn't have
that
said
brings.
it live, like, you know, but I'm an honest person and I speak my mind. That, and yeah, sometimes I make myself look stupid, put my foot in my mouth, whatever, like, but I did say it and I can wear that, you know.
Yeah, but
Sure, Flatzoid. I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but I will email you one.
Okay.
But it does happen. It does happen. And I guess, look, we're not going to agree on it, but we've got me on here talking, so I just thought I'd share my opinion. And again, I can just turn your channel off if I'm not interested. But let's talk about something less controversial or less personal, I guess.
But we obviously,
but
but to finish that off, we obviously don't literally believe that every Glober is a bloody one of them. Obviously,
in all fairness, so Aaron, you've come here. Oh, you want to ask?
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Figuring or not, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm going to ask lots of questions because I do have lots to answer. Why don't you guys ask me a question? Why don't I believe in the flat earth?
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you've spent so much time round flat Earth, why do you still think you live on a ball?
That's a good one.
Well, because the evidence shows me that I'm on a ball, and Michael, I'm never going to convince you, and you're never going to convince me. But so I live on the east coast of Australia. If I watch a sunrise, which I have a fair amount of times, 500 or 600 times, I guess, over the water, that looks like a sun rising over the horizon. It doesn't look anything like a sun coming in or going away or any sort of refraction to me. So for me, it's glaringly obvious that it's a sphere. And when I was a flat earther for about 45 minutes, I think, back in 2015, and I think I listened to Dubé's kind of stuff, and there was some compelling arguments. And I was already skeptical about the moon landings, and I was already skeptical about 9/11. And I hate to admit it, but I kind of was skeptical about a few major world events. So I have that conspiratorial nature already in place in my brain. It's already there. So I thought about it, and then I just went away and looked at it and thought, no, I can't follow that.
But based on that evidence, you're saying it looks to you as if it's not coming towards you. How would you demonstrate this to be the reality? Because we can demonstrate that it's just based on perspective that it converges to the apparent horizon. You guys haven't been able to demonstrate the Earth turning away from a sun, because the only argument we get always is scale.
When I go to Ocean, mainly Blackpool, a regular place I go to, I see that same thing that Aaron's describing, where it looks that big and close, and it's getting cut off by its seed. You know what I mean? It literally looks like it's explaining heliocentrism, but when you look into it further, it all still relies on optics.
Yeah.
But
you never see curvature on the x-axis either. You see, like, we could see it 3 miles going 3 miles out. That's where we start to see curvature, allegedly, where it's where the bottom of the boat starts to disappear, and that's only 3 miles out. But your peripheral vision from left to right, your x-axis, has got to be a lot more than 3 miles, and you see no literal curvature there at all. It's flat, it's straight, it's level.
So I'll just say it again. Look, your bread and butter, especially Flatzoid. Sorry, I'm stuttering. Flatzoid's bread and butter is debating, and I don't think it's useful for us to get into debates of that nature about me saying, well, why don't I, or me saying you guys have got to prove it, and Flatzoid said that he has proved it, and I can say, well, I don't think you've proved it convincingly enough. I think we have lots of topics that we can get around, but we just accept that I believe in the globe, and you guys believe in the flat Earth, and we're all good people, and we don't try to harm people, and we don't live harmful lives, and we do the best that we can in society to ensure that it's a successfully running society. And I think that's the most important thing. I'm more interested in how So yeah, I believe in the globe, you know, and the things that you guys bring up are not strong enough to convince me. So we'll just leave it at that. And the things that the Earth has put forward obviously haven't convinced you. So it's even playing field.
Okay, I just got to say before you
What
go on,
about?
before you go on, I was just say
Yep, go.
Face Reality. Thank you very much for your $2 super chat. It says high-powered zoom camera destroys the sun going down. Yep, thank you very much, Face Reality, for your super chat. I totally agree.
So well, let's just take that example, that comment. That's not true. So
I don't agree either with that. To be fair,
a high-powered zoom camera doesn't do that. It doesn't
depends.
debunk sunsets every day.
It depends.
So we can't say that. He's saying that it's 100% of the time you use a high-powered zoom lens, you debunk the sun sinking or rising. It's just blatantly not true. But you let those things slide.
It depends. It depends on the observation. Definitely, a high-power zoom camera will debunk it. Remember, you guys say, "Look, it's gone over the curve." Now, as soon as you pull out your camera and you zoom into it, you see, but hang on, it's still above the horizon. Yet it looked like it already went over the curve. Yes, with the sun as well.
No, man, you got to. No, you can't say that. That's not true.
No, I
Yes,
was
it
going to
can.
say not always. I was going to say not always. It depends on where you're observing.
That's what I'm saying.
But the comment he made.
Every zoom camera's got a limit as well, just like your eyes has.
It's got limit.
So his comment was that his comment implied that 100% of the time
no,
it debunks it, and that's simply not true.
It never says 100%. It says high-powered zoom camera destroys the sun going down, which is true. He never said 100% of the time. That's you adding things to what he said.
Yeah, he didn't say always. He just comments that it does.
Yeah.
Sure. So that's my own brain saying that, implying that he said that. I could ask you to say, okay, well, present that and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe you, but I don't think we should go backwards and forwards on it. I don't believe that's actually the case. I'll look into it because I'm not certain on a whole bunch of things. And oh man, I'm having trouble speaking. Flatzoid, I told you that. So for me, I have no interest in science. I have no interest in physics. I actually have a quick, interesting story I'll tell you for a few minutes. So I grew up in regional New South Wales. So I pretty much grew up almost in the desert of Australia. And my mother was a very mentally unwell lady. And in the late 70s, she was very suicidal. I was only a very young child. And she was. Do you guys remember like Jimmy Swaggart and all those men? So she was contemplating on killing herself, and she turned the TV on, and 4 o'clock in the morning, she had, I don't know, Kenneth Copeland or someone asking her to give her life to God, and she did. She did give her life to God, and she had this crazy revelation that everything was going to be all right, and God loved her, and she completely turned her life around. And I don't necessarily know what happened, but what I do know is I noticed my mother's significant change. And she wanted to join a church, and there was only this one tiny little church in the town that we lived in, and it was actually run by a family of Rhodesians. And so I do understand it from a very young age, the South African kind of culture. And this family had fled Rhodesia when the farms were being given back, and they had quite a lot of money, and they were cotton farmers, and there was the parents, so the patriarchal and matriarchal, they were in their 70s, and they had 4 boys and a girl, and each of those boys and the daughter had a wife and kids. So the church was, 50 strong, and 40 of them were from the same family. And back in the 70s, they believed the Bible from A to Z. They were full-on fundamentalist Pentecostal people, and they you weren't allowed. They took the Bible quite literally, so you weren't allowed to mix with the world or anything worldly. So I had to stop having any friends or anything, and I really struggled. And for me, it was almost like a cult. And if you looked in the definition of it, it was very cult-like. It fit all the criteria, and whilst they weren't trying to set up a cult, I don't think they knew any better. They were just trying to follow the word of God and look after and do what they believed God was telling them to do. But for me, it was an extremely difficult experience to be pulled out of normal society and then pushed in a certain direction.
Okay, but
and they decided to start a school, and there was only like 12 people in the school, and so the school didn't follow any Australian accreditation or anything. So I grew up until I was 15 in a school that I didn't learn any physics, any maths, a little biology, but so I know nothing about geometry, know nothing about physics, know nothing about all of those subjects. Because it wasn't taught to me when I was young. So I have no interest in it now. And you guys talk about, parallel and diagonal and, all these kind of verges and torque and all that kind of stuff. And I got nothing. So those topics I never argue about or get interested in because I don't know anything about it.
yeah,
I still went on to have a very successful career as a nurse, but my childhood was very bad at education. And I have a liking for biltong as well.
well, it's very sad that did happen, but I just have to point out Rhodesia is not South African though; it's Zimbabwe. But
sorry. Well,
yeah,
the same kind of
the sad
type of
yeah, but the sad reality though is you get a lot of cults that do, and that is cult-like you said. That's definitely cult, and you do unfortunately,
pretty harsh.
yeah, unfortunately, you get cults that arise out of biblical scripture, and that's not because of the Bible. That's because of the way they interpret it. And it's sad, and unfortunately, it's a thing, but that happens out of any kind of religion, to be honest. But it's sad. It's sad you had to go through that, and.
Thank you, Flatzoid. That's very generous of you. The people in the town didn't understand, so it's a very backwards town, uneducated, and the children that were my age and older just assumed that I thought I was better than everyone else. So I was bashed regularly by just chased, I guess. If people saw me, they would chase me and catch me and bash me, and it was pretty bad. But anyway, let's go. That's why I don't know.
Yeah, but I think
when you're talking about.
But I think you turned out quite alright. I mean, look how you're doing with the fish and stuff, and I mean, that's knowledge. That's knowledge that a lot of people don't have, and I mean, and that's good that you have that passion as well. But yeah, not everybody.
I've got two masters since that, so I'm certainly not I'm not the brightest man. I'm not the dumbest. Anyway, I don't want to make it about me. Hey, I've got a question for you, and I don't know the answer, but have you heard of lividity?
Lividity. The name rings a bell.
Yeah, so I guess it's LIVIDITY, I guess. So lividity is when a human, I think it's with humans, but I guess it's with animals as well. So if I only thought of this last night when I was trying to fall back asleep, lividity is when an animal, human stops, is dead, deceased, post-mortem.
Okay.
And the fluids within the body settle to the bottom of the body. So they use it in crime and stuff like that to say, has the body been moved? If the body's been shot and then it's sitting there for a couple of hours, the blood will form, or the fluids will go to the bottom, and then if they find the body in another position, they know that it's been moved because the lividity shows that that's not the original position that the body died.
That's interesting.
And I was thinking, it is interesting. Yeah, they use it a lot in crime. But I was thinking when it comes to your RDD stuff, which I don't want to get into that either because it just does my head in. I don't understand what you're saying, and I've heard you 1,000 times, and you're saying it as simply as you possibly can. So I think that's futile. But I was thinking, so let's say we've got blood traveling up a vessel, a capillary or a vein or an artery. The density, the blood will be, one will have a higher density than the other. And that's when the person's got a heart blood pressure. But when the person doesn't have a blood pressure or the person doesn't have a beating heart, then that blood will travel through that more dense vessel. And I was thinking we should put some thought into that. I mean, I'm going to say that it settles because of gravity, but why doesn't it settle when the heart's pumping?
Because of pressure. Remember, that's why you got things like blood pressure and stuff, because it's forced through because of the pressure. That's why when you're alive, that you're required to have a certain amount of blood. If you have low blood pressure, it's bad. If you have high blood pressure, it's bad. So, yeah, if you died, your heart's not been able to pump to create that pressure anymore, and that's why it would settle, because the pressure is not forcing it around anymore.
Yeah, but the lower pressure is still up the vessel, up the vein, because that doesn't necessarily close down.
Yeah, because it's
it's
a low pressure environment. It's like Bernoulli's principle, high to low.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah,
if you take a suction cup,
yeah,
and you suction out, it's made a low pressure environment. It holds something up. It's the same. Inside the artery, it's closed off, so it's got a low pressure environment there, so it's holding it up because of the pressure.
I don't see Flatzoid. I don't think the vessels collapse down, and that's only from me being a nurse for 30 years. But anyway, it's something I thought of, and I'm going to look into it a little bit more.
Okay,
I probably won't though.
But it's interesting.
Hey, tell me about your job.
My job.
Yeah, so I want to compare. So you're a spray painter, and you said I remember a quote once that you said, and you kind of said, "Look, life didn't turn out for me as I expected," and you said, "I'm a painter," and I thought that was a very depreciating, or whatever that word is, opinion of your trade. In Australia, we have a very high regard for our tradesmen, and sometimes our tradesmen earn a lot more money than lawyers and things like that. You know, if they're in the right trade. But so, do you only spray cars, or do you do the panel beating as well?
I can panel beat, but I'm only qualified to do the mixing and the spraying.
Right. And so I would assume that that's a pretty high skill that you've got to know a fair bit about, obviously, distance and what the temperature is and the humidity and how different paints go on and whether the car's been all that sort of stuff.
You have to know the systems behind it, yeah. But like I'm saying,
Yeah.
I actually studied art and stuff because I wanted to do graphic design or jewelry. I did do graphic design for about 10 years, and then we ended up moving because my wife came from what you can say, a small town. And when she moved with me back to the bigger city, she couldn't cope. So then we practically, for her, we moved back to her small town, and me as a senior position couldn't get as what I would get as a junior position where I was. So at the end of the day, I was forced to look for another trade. And because I, just as a hobby, was being able to build body kits and spray and airbrush and all that stuff, I tried out for panel beating. And when I went to the panel beats, I got the job. After a year of doing panel beating, they asked me, hey, we see you can spray and everything. Do you want to maybe become a spray painter? And since then, I've just been stuck in the trade of spray painting. So, yeah. So as much as I enjoy spraying and working with my hands and stuff, it wasn't my passion always. You understand? And I mean, I always do have a passion for cars, still do. But when you spray cars every day for how much years I've been doing this now, you kind of do get bored about it. It's not that I'm bringing the profession down. It is quite a knowledgeable profession to be in. But it's just not something I would have seen myself in, if I put it that way.
Yeah, it's like seahorses. You get so comfortable with it, it ceases to become a challenge, and you got to push it and, go to shrimp. But what I'm trying to get at, I guess, Flatzoid, is one of the things that I'm quite shocked at is a flat earther's ability to disregard someone's technical skills or their experience, and then kind of like say, oh well, we're capable of understanding that and even doing it. I wouldn't for one second think if I watched 100 hours of spray painting that I could become a spray painter.
There we go.
But I think flat earthers say, well, we can become mathematicians, or we can do a bit of physics, or we can understand, the thermodynamic principles and stuff. But really, from not actually having any hands-on
You see,
experience with it. Do you get my analogy?
Yeah, but there I disagree with you, though. You don't have to have a PhD in something to understand. I mean, everybody knows I'm not the greatest mathematician. I'm not never claimed to be, but I do at least know enough to be able to hold my argument. Let's say with thermodynamics, you can go and look at the arguments I've given, and you can go to MIT, you can go to any institute you want, and it would see it be supported of what is, because that I pride myself on actually going and doing the research and actually looking at the information I present. I don't just make it as I go up. Obviously, there's things I don't agree with, just like with gravity, I say relative density disequilibrium, but I give the mechanisms on why I think that. It's not because I'm saying, oh, it's just I know better than you. This is why I say it, and this is the reason. The only issue is we get very defensive because our opposition, the globers, usually the anti-flat earthers, are very demeaning against us and have a bigot attitude towards us. Like, you're a flat earther, so therefore you're dumb, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, look at PhD Phil Bell. He's got a PhD. He comes onto FTF's channel after he's too scared to come and talk to me alone. And when he tries to test me on thermodynamics, he ended up validating my exact point. Did that now make me better than him? No, it just means I understood the argument and I had to lead him to validate my point. He ended up validating that pressure gradients weren't caused by gravity, it was caused by gas behavior. Then he says, no, that's not what he said. But if you go and watch the argument, that's exactly what he's been fighting for the whole time. So it's not got to do with your how can I put it, your qualifications. It's got to do with the knowledge you put into it and you work through it. I mean, you learn new things every day.
Yeah, but I think you've misunderstood me. I never said it was to do with qualifications. I said it was to do with experience. And I do slightly remember about the thing you're talking about with Phil Bell, but I don't remember it clearly enough to remember it the way that you say it is. And I guess there's a couple of things that lead off from this conversation, which are quite important questions, or not important questions, but questions I wanted to ask. So, with it, when it's just one comment, when it comes to the thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics and space and vacuums and all that kind of stuff, I know when that started. I know the day it started. I know who said it, what show it was, and I've seen that come out. And the way that came out was not something that had been long-standing. It wasn't something that was all agreed on. It was just something that was put into the mix by a certain person, and then it sounds impressive and it sounds important. But overall, I don't believe that you understand the second law of thermodynamics. You certainly understand it better than I do, but I don't believe you understand it to the point that it needs to be understood to make sense of space. And sorry, go.
That I disagree with, though.
Okay. All right.
And then I would say, just like we had that, I think it was a few weeks ago or a month ago, we had that guy in chat saying, I don't understand thermodynamics. I said, okay, fine. When he came in and I asked him one question and he started off with the premise already showing he doesn't even know what a thermodynamic system is. So how can I put this? I don't agree with the person that always comes and says, you don't understand thermodynamics. And as soon as they come and try and test me on it, I answer the right things.
Okay.
You understand?
So that brings it, I understand what you're saying, but I don't necessarily agree with it. And I don't feel strongly enough about it to upset you or me about it. But I think that's something that we probably should talk about is the way that flat Earth versus globe Earth is argued now has changed incredibly. And as I said before, 180 degrees. When I was getting into flat Earth, We had flat earthers out and about doing stuff. They were doing observations, they were measuring stuff, they were busy doing stuff and presenting their evidence. And now we have very few people actually doing that. And the way that the argument has changed now has come down to an argument of semantics, an argument of words, and an argument of fallacies. And one of the things I don't understand is the use of fallacies. The fallacies were designed for formal debates, to hold people in check when formal debates or arguments are being discussed or behaved. But now we've got so many of these silly fallacies that people hide behind. Both Globers and flat earthers hide behind, and say, stop straw manning me, or stop steel manning me, or stop doing this, or stop doing that, rather than just explaining what they're supposed to explain. And for me, it's like the argument is totally gone. So when you're saying that you're able to explain thermodynamics, you're able to push down on points that certainly make the other person have to think about their answer, or how they're going to approach you with a better answer, or make you understand or explain their answer to you better. But it's in this kind of heated environment where it's not really, the environment doesn't allow for discussion that's open and honest, or calm, I guess.
You see, I disagree with that as well. I mean, there is no debate, actually. The debate's over. The only thing we do get is pushback of the anti-flat earthers that can't accept that your belief system violates natural law. There's no argument about it. This is just simply us showing and explaining over and over until someone does get it. And this is not for the anti-flat earthers. This is for the new the globers that come new into the argument, that are still honest and say, hang on, yeah, this makes sense. There's something wrong here. And they look further into it. So it's not about us carrying on going over with the anti-flat earthers. It's about the new people coming into the argument, which is every day. And it's very telling that every time we have to explain it over and over and ask for demonstrations, which we don't receive at all. But ever. And we are the ones that are the ones demonstrating and using natural law on our sides. So it's not us that are wrong. It's just us having to have a pushback by religious nuts, I would say.
So I could argue with that. I could say, no, that's not true. Evidence is brought forward, and you just don't listen to it. But that's what I thought you would say, like, or where, and that gets us back into the minutia, which I don't want to do. I want to talk about the overall picture.
I mean, when you ask for a demonstration of gravity, they drop something and say, "There you go." How is that? You know what I mean? That's
a demonstration of gravity, PJ.
No,
PJ, do you know what the moon is?
It's not.
Do you know what the moon is, PJ?
Do I know what is?
The moon.
No.
Yeah, of course. Do I know what it is? I know. Yeah. I can see it, but I don't know what it's made of. No.
You see, that's.
Do you know how it works?
Aaron, you see, that's the problem. You guys make the...
No. Let me keep going. Just let me keep going.
You guys make
You don't know what the moon is. You don't know what the moon is. You don't know how it works. And I'm happy with that. I don't know what gravity is. I don't know how gravity works. But you shouldn't attack me for my opinion on gravity when you don't know what the moon is.
No, but I didn't. I'm just saying that's what we get.
Can I just add to this, Aaron? Right, we talk about flat Earth. Anti-flat earthers come and attack us. We don't go out there attacking them. Nobody makes these people come in Flatzoid's chat calling us all these names and you're stupid and you're a moron and blah blah blah, which then causes us to retaliate. But nobody's making them come to us. Like the first ever flat Earth video I made, I got attacked to pieces. Right, I've never attacked anybody in my life.
Okay.
You called me a pedo.
Okay.
What does the moon have to do with where we're standing? Okay. No, he said something about the moon. What does it have to do with where we're standing? Nothing.
Okay, but that's
these are the arguments. These are the silly arguments that I'm talking about. This is not this is not what I was talking about. I was comparing your ability to as a lay person, your ability to describe your flat Earth moon the same as my ability to describe my global gravity.
Can I take this, guys?
Why do you then go on to attack people?
Okay, can I take this quickly? Aaron,
I don't attack people.
Aaron,
no, that's what you just said, PJ.
Okay,
I'm going to stay on mute.
Guys.
Why are you attacking people on it? And that's not the case. People attack us because we have a different belief.
Yeah, but okay, Aaron, you see the issue here is not, you see what happened. This is exactly what always happens. You are trying to reverse the burden onto us. You want us to replace your belief. You have a belief and your claim is you do know what the moon is and it works in your model. Now, you're going and it's saying, PJ, you don't know what the moon is, so therefore you don't know what you're talking about because I do know what on my model it says. Now we're saying, yes, we know your model. We were Globers before. Now,
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you just so you don't go down the wrong path, please?
I just want to finish my statement. I just want to finish your statement.
Sure, go.
Okay, so the thing is, because we know your model, we can attack you based on your claims of your model. Now, you guys trying to place the burden onto us is dishonest, and that's what we don't like about it. And that's what always reaches down to the same rabbit hole, because we have to end at the end of the day, try and teach you your own model and show you why your own model is wrong.
So can I just have a few minutes? If you thought that I was reversing the burden of proof to PJ and then attacking him or making him look silly, I apologize. That wasn't my intent at all. You guys were talking about, well, you should know what gravity is and all that kind of stuff. Well, you didn't say that, but you basically said, I said something about it be gravity and I heard Snickers and stuff. All I was saying was, in your world of FE, you have a number of things that are unexplained. And the first thing that came to my mind was the moon. You're fairly, as a group of flat earthers, not your little group, overall, you're fairly all indecisive about what the moon is. And you frequently say, I don't know. Now, if a glober says it's mass attracting mass, gravity is mass attracting mass, and you say, well, how's it work? And we say, we don't know. You therefore mock and scoff us to say, well, you don't even know what it is.
But that's the issue.
That's all that is exactly what I was talking. I wasn't attacking anyone for not knowing what the moon was, mate. I was basically saying we all have doubt about things and we don't know everything, and even our brightest people don't know how gravity works.
But that's the problem. You guys, can we say, according to the heliocentric model, gravity is scientifically validated?
Well, we have different definitions on science, I guess. So I know that the New York guy, Neil's going to say, well, science is a method, and the definition of science, it contains a scientific method, but it's bigger than that.
But that's not what I asked. I asked, according to the heliocentric model, is gravity scientifically validated?
I don't know, man. I'll go. I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if it's scientifically validated, that means they do know what it is, because you have the cause for effect.
I think they can define it, but I don't think they know how it works. Yeah.
Then they can't be scientifically validated. That's our whole point. Yeah. So you can't say you scientifically validated something, and then teach everybody in existence that it is fact, and you don't know what it is, and claim it to be scientifically validated. That contradicts itself.
It can't be manipulated. It can't be scrutinized. Not scrutinized, manipulated. So how can it be scientific? How can it go through the scientific process if it can't be manipulated?
You guys, so for example, you talk about the law of thermodynamics. There's also a law of gravitational force, right?
No, there's not.
Is there not, Neil? No law of gravitation.
It's not a law. A law is something that happens all the time. Tell me when it happens all the time.
Look,
is there a law of gravitation, Neil? Without arguing, is there a law of gravitation?
No, it's not a law.
Neil, sorry. According to the heliocentric model, there is a law of gravitation.
Oh, you're talking about the model, yeah, but we don't live in a model.
Yeah, I agree there.
And there is no law.
But that's why.
Let's talk about this, Flatzoid. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the Oakleyization of your channel. Because we'll get off the subject. The Oakleyization of your channel.
Oren, we're going to stop right there. You're not going to try and obfuscate now from the point we're making, and there's no
I'm
such
not
thing
obfuscating.
Yes, you are, because
I'm
and
not
by the way,
obfuscating.
there's no such thing
It's
as
not. It's not. I don't want to go.
Okay, look, mate.
I don't want to go round in circles arguing about gravity, because you're not going to agree with me and I'm not agreeing with you. I just think it's silly to spend time on going around. I'm happy to believe you in your RDD, but I don't believe it.
Okay.
I have gravitation. We've got Neil saying there is no law of gravitation when there is.
Again.
What is? Can I just ask him what gravity is? Is it the gravity before Einstein or the gravity after Einstein?
Neil, that is the most silly comment. It's the same gravity that's been around forever.
No, it's not.
It's superseded. You got a bending of space.
Gravity is gravity. How it's defined.
There's so many different types of gravity.
Okay. I'm going to place it this way, Aaron. The problem is that Newton, he didn't even want to be ascribed to the Newtonian gravity because there was no mechanism for it. Okay, once he died, they had a guy named C.V. Boyles that came after and then ascribed it to Newton. And that was seen as an actual force. Okay? That was when the law of gravitational constant came in, because you observe in reality things fall down at 9.8 meters per second. That is why you guys have your so-called law of gravitational acceleration. That doesn't mean it's gravity. That doesn't mean it's real. That's just the name given for the natural observation we see. The denser object sinks down. Now, where we have our miscommunication is we're saying, hang on, that's not due to gravity, because you guys can't even define gravity. You can't make up your minds what gravity is. It is simply the object that is denser moving through the less dense medium. That is it. It cannot support it, so therefore it seeks equilibrium. And this is why I was trying to explain to Dal last night as well. F equals ma would be a true statement, because you do require a force for mass to accelerate. There's no two ways about it. The only difference is you guys don't have a mechanism for that force to be there, and that's why you guys say gravity is a force, but it's not. It has been superseded 108 years ago by Einstein. General relativity. General relativity specifically says when something is falling, it's at net zero g. It's at zero. It's you accelerating towards the object as it seems to be falling towards you. That's what general relativity is about. It's about an effect. It's not physical. Newtonian gravity is physical being pulled down. It's two different models. Now, you guys false equivocating those two different models as a, look, we have a law of gravitation, is not just dishonest, it's idiotic and shows ignorance towards the subject. And that's why we have huge fight back against this, because we are practically talking out and saying it's pseudoscience. There's no science from beginning to end for anything gravity.
I think what you guys need to do is to take a step backwards and listen to me. I'm absolutely not attacking any of you on your belief and saying that your beliefs are wrong, and I'm going to be here to fight my position on that. I only said that I'm not ignorant, and the only reason I said the law of gravity is because you guys quote the law of thermodynamics, but you refuse to quote the law of gravity. And it's not about me saying I believe in either. It's about me saying you guys cherry pick your laws sometimes. Your fallback is to go into...
Give me the definition of natural law. What's the definition of natural law?
Neil, I'm not interested in debating anything with you about natural law.
Why can't you give me a definition?
Because that's not why I'm here. I'm more interested in talking about...
Okay, so you want to say what you got to say and say, take a step back and listen to me.
I don't need any. No, I don't do that at all.
You can't. You won't define it. You can, but you won't define it because you know.
Because that's not why I'm here, Neil.
Gravitational law is not something that happens always.
You see the issue here, Oren.
Flatzoid.
You see the issue.
Flatzoid. I'm not going to continue on. If people are going to demand things of me and make me look like I'm supposed to be doing something, I'm here to have a nice chat with you and your friends, and I thought that was going pretty well.
It was.
I'm certainly not. I'm certainly not here to defend my position about gravity. So if we can't, and I'm not conceding anything, and I'm not running away from it. I have no dog in the fight. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. My dog in the fight was about the termination of laws.
Yeah.
My dog in the fight with PJ was saying I don't know what gravity is or how it works, and you guys don't know what the moon does. So it was just a comparison of things that we don't know. But because you guys are so used to being attacked, I guess you just jump on the back foot, and you have people with anger issues, and this kind of attack mentality. And I don't want to engage in that, man. It's Sunday morning.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And I'm just happy to chat. I won't continue on if that's the way. When I said when I said the Oakleyization of your channel, I've noticed over time that you were even saying sentences with the same that Oakley says exactly, and you even have the same enunciations on them. And so and you've got Arwen coming, and you've got Neil coming. And your channel is becoming more like his. Now, that could be great if that's what you want. If you want that, that's great.
No.
But I'm telling you, that's what I've noticed. It's not a criticism. It's just what I've noticed.
My channel is my channel, dude. Nathan has his own channel. I have my own channel. And it's definitely not fair on someone to say, oh, but you're going in the same direction as that person. I definitely have my own flair on my channel.
Why is it not fair when I...
Because just because the same panel comes and visits on my channel doesn't mean it's the same channel.
I didn't say that. I said you're becoming, again, I'm not attacking you, man. You just need to take a breath. I'm saying that I've noticed you use phrases that he uses. Now, he was using them long before you. He does. I can write them all down for you.
Remember,
I can cut them out of your shows if you like.
Remember, his channel is older than my channel.
Of course,
I was on his panel before I even started my channel.
Were you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been on his channel for years, mate.
But,
no, I knew that you were related to him, but I stopped listening to him probably, I guess, maybe three years ago. I guess it just became. I mean, in the beginning, it was great.
I've been on his channel maybe 5 years already.
No, that's great. Good on you. I stopped listening to him. I knew you from his channel, but you weren't on there every day like Sleeping Warrior and those. But I knew you were around. But I stopped listening to him because it just becomes what I would perceive as just too aggressive, and I don't need to have that going into my ears. I've already got enough mental health issues to have. I don't need anything more bringing me down.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard you were writing a book.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, go, man, go.
I just want to say based on that gravitational acceleration law, the only thing is the reason we have an issue with that is because it's named something that's not based on facts. So they've taken a observation, which we definitely see things accelerate, and they say, oh, you see, it has to be gravity. And that's why we say it's wrong. Not because we don't observe it, but because the name given to it has the stigma of just accepting it as fact. But yeah, that's on that. But yeah, I'm writing a book.
Hey, before I do the book thing, have you seen a documentary on YouTube called Helioskepticism?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have we?
I've
seen so much, I can't even remember what I've seen anymore. But before we go on, I got a $5 super chat. Sorry, man. Face Reality, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. He says, asking about his lifetime of zero Earth movement felt. Yet they believe we're racing through space in 4 orbits at unproved, unimaginable speeds. Insane. Thank you very much for your super chat, Face Reality. Appreciate it. Aaron, would you mind answering that, though? If you don't mind.
So I'm not going to get into what I perceive as not or not, but look, I believe in the heliocentric model as it stands, and everything after that. So I guess I will just leave it at that. I mean, you don't believe in the world moving. I do believe in the world moving. So we're all okay with that.
Okay.
Hey, I do want to ask you about the book, but I had another question as well. Oh, heliocentric. Man. So Helioskepticism is a documentary that my nephew made about 6 months ago. It's my wife's nephew. I'm not sure if that makes him my nephew, does it? I guess so.
Sure does.
And he's a really strong Seventh-day Adventist. Yeah, very devout. very, very devout Seventh-day Adventist, and he's done a really good documentary, and you should have a look. It's really well produced. So I'm not his YouTube channel is called Earthen. I'll send you the link anyway. I'll email you the link, but it's called Helioskepticism. It's about 6 months old, and it's got a really good argument around all of the kind of Catholicism and Illuminati and who are the Jesuits and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of all of that area and biblical cosmology, very strong. Have a look at it; it's really nice. And we have great discussions because he's probably the most strong flat earther I've ever met, and there's no way that I'm ever going to be able to convince him otherwise. So it's a nice place to have a even playing field where we don't have to try and prove anything. Just listen to each other.
So find out, is he the same helioskeptic that hangs around on 24/7 Discord?
I don't think he would. Oh no, that wouldn't be his name. I don't think. No.
That's the name of his documentary, isn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, the name of his documentary. Yeah, I don't think his name's Chris Sparks. I don't think he would be on any of those. He's married with a couple of kids and he's very devout. He keeps the Sabbath and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I don't think he.
But yeah, if you send me the link, I'll be happy to see it. I'll watch it. Sure.
It's really good, man. It's really good. It's a really well done documentary, and I think anyone who has a passion for anything, regardless of whether the topic's something I agree with or not, you need to be congratulated for your perseverance. And that's what I was thinking about the book. I think it's what a great idea. I've always wanted to write a book, and I've always wanted to write like a autobiography, and I just never get around to it. But I'm really proud of you, man, to take the time to try and put it down. It's certainly a great thing for your brain to be thinking in a totally different way, and it actually shows a bit of a devotion to your commitment to flat earth. You're like saying, okay, well, I'm actually going to spend time and put something down on paper and get out of this arguing, yelling scene all the time and trying to trip people up with words and actually do something that someone can walk away with. And I think you should be congratulated for that, man. I really think that's a cool thing. Thanks.
Yeah, I got quite a few ideas on books, but this to me is the most important one. And I don't want to give like I said, the title away now, because if I did, then everybody's going to know what it's about. So
it's probably called "Suck Like a Vacuum" or something, right?
No, definitely not.
Sucks like a vacuum. Vacuums don't suck. Only vacuum cleaners suck. Vacuum doesn't suck.
No, this one is more.
My vacuum cleaner sucks.
Yeah, this book's target is more on the Christians and God's word. So,
okay, well, you'll definitely enjoy this documentary then. Hey, I had another question. Do you want more Globers on your shows?
Yeah, I invite them all the time. The problem is that a lot of them don't want to come on because you've seen what happens to them when they do come on.
My problem, Aaron, is the fake Globers who come on with the fake accounts who've just met them recently within this month or whatever in order to just come and troll. That's my problem.
Yeah, Michael, thank you for bringing my attention to the stuff that you guys deal with, because I only listen through YouTube. I never see the chat. I never see the abuse that you're taking, and I never. I have seen it, I guess, but I'm not used to it at the moment. It's not contemporary in my head, so I had forgotten about. I don't think like modding's a hard job or whatever, but I have to put into context things that you're seeing, and that certainly put that first comment I said about the PEDOSs into context, and I've disclosed that I have trouble filtering some of the things, and it can happen to the best of us or the worst of us.
Have you got kids, Aaron?
I have a 10-year-old daughter and I have a 19-year-old son.
How does it sit with you, like people posting child porn links? Do you know what I mean? It infuriates me. People who do things like that are the worst type of person you could ever come across, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty grotty act. There's no excuse for it. I don't think it's done by many people, but it certainly, and it used to be really popular back in the day. I remember when whatever programs they were using, people used to span it, and all of a sudden that's what you'd have up on your screen. So and it's not defendable at all. It's just stupid, and it gives us a bad name. The same as people like whatever Nathan Thompson screaming at kids over the fence go flat Earth is a bad name.
I don't agree with that whatsoever. I think that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the links. I mean that's the worst part of it. But the picture, his avatar he left up there was like a literal penis on it. You know what I mean? And he was just dressed up in some kind of clown makeup, meant to look like I don't know, someone in drag, I suppose.
That's just silly.
Meant to look like a chick with a dick, basically.
Yeah, but can we change the subject, please?
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Flatzoid, do you have any comment, or any of you guys have any comment on the different? Why can't flat earthers agree on? So, as a community, you're pretty split on. I guess you split on ideas or beliefs, but also there's some personality types that have clashed as well.
I would agree.
Why does that happen?
Because you remember, like the heliocentric model, you guys have your set rules. This is how it works, so you all have to believe it this way. When it comes to the flat Earth, we all think for ourselves. We take things logically the own way we interpret it. So everybody's going to have their own opinions on how things work and how they see things, because we're not bound by this is how it's supposed to work, this is what we've been taught it to work, and therefore this is how it is. So it's just, in the end of the day, we all think for ourselves.
Yeah, I guess, but
goes by validation too. If you could validate something, we're right behind it. If you can't, then we kick it to the side. Validation, like what's it with Issa?
Yep,
you ask him what's Issa, and he can't back it.
Yeah, you see,
that starts talking about electromagnetism and other nonsense.
You see, that's also one thing I want to bring up, with like the Witsit crew and things. Their pseudoscience that they're bringing up, because they're claiming it to be science. They can't bring any science for it, but they're claiming it to be science. We are against it because we're saying, hang on, you cannot provide us scientific evidence for it because you claim it to be science. So that's why we're against it, because we are simply for, you have to demonstrate it scientifically for it to be empirical, then we'll accept it. Now, just like with Dell and he's accelerating up Earth, I'm trying to explain to the guy, accelerating Earth is flat Earth society bullshit which runs on general relativity. It's a globe claim. Just like the ether of Witsit and them, it's a globe claim. They're pushing globe rhetoric onto flat Earth and they're calling it demonstrable reality without having demonstrable reality for it. And that's why we have different opinions that we just simply call them and say, but that's nonsense. Because we all get pulled into the same boat.
But so for me, you're in it. So you're in the pool swimming around. And for me, I'm on top of the diving board looking down at the different pools. And for me, I'm observing it from a totally different angle. And all I see is people disagreeing with each other. And I guess that's one of the entertaining things, believe it or not. And that's I'm not embarrassed to say it, but seeing Flat Earther argue with Flat Earther is kind of one of our highlights. Just because it's who wins, and I have to congratulate you going up against Dell, because I'm scared of Dell and I'm in Australia.
Let me point to this, guys. I'm not scared of anyone. There's only one person I'm scared of, and that's God.
Yeah, it's it. There's no need to be scared of him, Aaron, trust me.
Mrs. Flatzoid, I bet you're scared of.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, two people.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm not good without saying.
Hey, Flatzoid, I think it's about 6:30. My daughter's going to get up, so I'm going to go.
Awesome.
And thank you for the chat.
It was great having you on.
You should come on again. Come on again.
And you can join anytime.
I just want you to, reiterate again, I'm not here to upset you or prove anything to you. I just give you my feedback or my questions that I have about why are you doing this, or and expect I'm blunt enough to say, could you please answer my question as to why you think that or what you're doing. But I don't have a position. I lost that long. I do have a position. Sorry, I don't have a position that I want to argue about. I don't want to get distressed. I don't want to be called I don't want to be labelled as someone who ran away or someone who conceded or any of that kind of stuff. I just have other questions in a different space that I thought we could talk to. And I think you're worth it, Flatzoid. I think you are genuinely a nice guy, and I think you're an honest family man. And I appreciate that. And you are a vast different person than the likes of Nathan Thompson or the drug. What was the drug guy? The drug guy that always used to hit up his people for money for drugs. Yeah.
Leave the guy alone. He had some problems. He's talking about the Morgile.
Oh, okay.
No, the Morgile. Yeah,
Morgile,
the Morgile. He had a head like a horse. But you're cool, man, and yeah, that's my feedback. And keep doing what you're doing. Awesome. And I hope everyone, wherever you are in the world, where you guys are going to bed, I'm about to go for a walk, and we'll talk another time.
Cool,
yeah,
man.
Exactly. But thanks, Aaron, for coming. If you ever want to, okay, he's gone. Ever want to come back, he can. But yeah, look, he's one of the nicest Globers I've had. But the way he was talking was kind of weird. Like he's fishing for stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. Plus, he's talking like a defeated person. They're defeated.
Yeah, but I think
he doesn't want to take a position. Oh, I have a position.
Yeah, but I think
I don't want to fight about it.
But I think that's got to do with his background he was brought up in. Like he said, he was brought up in that kind of cult thing, and he was kind of abused and all that. So I can sort of fall back with that. But like I said, out of all the Globers I usually converse with, he's one of the more respectful, and he is actually a patron of this channel, believe it or not.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's why I left. I didn't want to ruin it for you. I felt like I was getting a little upset.
So I don't want to be too hard on the guy, because I mean he has been, like you said, had a tough growing up and whatever and all that.
Listen, at least he's been willing to come out and show and talk openly and cordially. And
that's it.
So Flatzoid, I don't know that. When that happens, you got to say, take it easy, and then I'll understand. And I'll step back because I don't know.
But you see, that's the thing. The other thing with my show, I let everybody have their say. I want everybody to have their opinions, because I don't want to just say, it's my show, shut up. That's not how I roll with the show. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own format, and my format, I want people to have a say in the thing. That's how it is. We're all about the same reality.
Look at me. When you have somebody and I don't like, I don't watch.
Yeah, you just.
That's right.
It's that simple.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say who FTFE.
No, but like I love you to bits and I love your show and that, but I don't also do things just for the sake of it. If there's somebody who I don't like, who I don't really want to hear, why would I watch?
Yeah, exactly.
Would you be talking about Fight the Tight Shirt, Michael?
As it happens, yeah.
He loves him. He adores him. He's got a little, what do you call it? A thing set up, a little ornament in his image and all that. You know what I mean? A little idol and that.
I'm a little Fight the Flat Earth Teddy.
Yeah.
And it's just as thick.
So I shouted a text to QE, and he says the original law of gravitation.
Yeah, but look, let me quickly tell you what he's showing. Look here. Remember, that's what I say. It's a law of gravitational acceleration. It's the universal law of gravitation. That's what they're saying. You see, it's this: F equals G with mass 1 with a mass 2 over the radius squared. That's why they say it's a law of gravitation. Now they take things accelerating down at 9.8 meters per second squared, and they say therefore it's a law of gravity, and that's what I'm trying to explain to the guy.
That's bullcrap.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to explain to the guy.
It's mathematics.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to explain to the guy. It's not actually a law of gravitation. They are giving it a name of gravity because we observe things accelerating down at a rate. That's why they call it the universal law of gravitation. It doesn't mean it is a actual law. It just means they gave it the name of the law. It doesn't mean gravity exists.
Okay, so a natural law is what we see, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah,
always going to cold. That's something.
It's a
that
natural
happens all the
tendency.
time.
Yeah, it's a natural tendency.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. But that's what I'm trying to explain to the guys. Yeah, you can say there's a natural law of gravity, but it doesn't actually constitute being gravity is real. It's just a name given for a phenomena that we see. And we can give the mechanism for why that happens, hence why I had the discussion with Dal last night. They don't have a mechanism, that's why they can't agree what gravity is, and they're having to keep changing the mechanisms because there is no mechanism for it. I mean, even when Newton so-called postulated it, there was no scientific hypothesis for it. There was no experiment. And only after he died, then all of a sudden it was scientifically validated. You know what I mean? But where's a hypothesis to have it validated? Where's the experiment? There's nothing. Then they come with...
That's right. This guy thinks that the moon causes the tides. You know that, right?
Yeah, according
They
to
all
his
think
belief.
that.
Yeah, according to the belief. And then when you bring up, let's take lakes and rivers, lakes and dams that have no tides, or more than 2 tides a day, goes totally against what they're claiming. Then they say, oh no, it's just got to do with, you don't understand. That's what they say.
Yeah, so he's heavily indoctrinated. That's what it is. And, they don't want to leave their little safe heliocentric system.
Well, he did say it's his belief. We're not going to change it. So all power to him. If that's what he believes, I'm not going to say, oh, I shun you from coming to my channel now because you want to keep your cult.
No, but it works both ways as well. Like, none of ballers in chat are going to change our minds either, So,
yeah.
Right.
I mean,
they seem to be under opinion that we were born flat earthers.
But yeah, Aaron, thanks again for coming. Really appreciate it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, but then he's like, what bothered me a little bit was like we haven't gone anywhere. Like, so he's talking about globe busters that went out and did some things with lasers and gyros, and nothing's being done anymore. I don't know. I thought 10th Man did some great work on celestial navigation, and I think that's a bang-up proof there.
But also, like I was saying, it doesn't really matter because the debate's over. We've shown the demonstrations. We've shown different types of demonstrations, and we get nothing from the ball side. Now we get people from the ball side like showing through theodolites and auto levels and saying, you see this curve, where they're totally misrepresenting and understanding that what they're seeing is optical. That stadia here in the crosshair is infinite. It's stuck on the actual scope. Yeah. Everything else in the distance is bound by perspective and optical phenomena. Yeah. That stadia here is not going with perspective. It's stuck right in front of your face. So the further you see, the bigger the discrepancy between the infinite line that never changes and the surroundings. So they say, oh, you see, that means curve, without understanding. No, take that stadia hairline away, it's going to look just like we see in reality. The stadia hairline is just there to have a measurement of a horizontal plane, which is parallel to the horizontal. And by the way, the water or something is physically below you. No one's ever said it's not physically below you. Yes, Bill, stick up your hand. What's up?
Hey, he stuck up his hand. Nice.
He had a moral.
Who's got a gun to you?
He had a moral objection to the show as well, and I wanted to ask him, like, what if he believed in a moral lawgiver, and if morality was objective, and where does he get this objective morality in his worldview?
Exactly. I don't think he knows himself, though, because I've had this argument with a lot of atheists. And this is like when I was debating Matthew that time with morality. I was basing it on being an atheist, so secular humanism. But we'll get to that now. I just want to say, Aaron Armstrong, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. Really appreciate it, mate. He says, Rand T, Sleeping Warrior, and Oakley did lots of observations originally, not Glowbusters only. Why is Neil trying to rubbish me? Glowbusters did FE Core. That's what he was trying to say. And they don't do it anymore, Aaron.
But
thank you very much for your super chat.
Okay, so what about the work that tempted? You didn't even mention that.
I want to comment on that, though. I want to comment on it. How many observations do you have to do once you've already proven that there's no curve?
Correct, Michael. Once you prove that the horizon's not Earth's curve, it's over. And what about the work QE's done? So,
Exactly.
I'm a little biased to the guys I roll with. But Flatzoid, I heard you say you still are on the panel in Flat Earth debate. So I don't like that opification nonsense that he said. It's not true. Nathan has a show. He always says it. He's doing a show as well.
Exactly.
Okay?
Because one thing I've always liked to say, and you guys realize this, they always love to bring QE and Nathan into the picture somewhere. Yeah. And it's like, I don't even bring them up, but yet they are pushed in.
Yeah. It's like they're our keepers or something, you know what I mean? It's like their bosses, QE and Nathan. It's been said 1,000 times as well, you know?
I mean, just because we have the same arguments and we agree on the same things doesn't mean he's telling me what to say or it's becoming an Oakley version or whatever. It just means we have the same agreements. Even Neil, you understand. Me and Nathan have a lot of disagreements with things. I mean, even you do. Not everybody agrees with everything.
No, of course not.
So, yeah.
Agreed, yes.
And that's what I like about FED, because we all have disagreements on at least something.
Of course.
And we don't say, oh, you're not part of the group anymore just because you disagree with me. How dare you? Get out of my cult. You know what I mean? No one says that.
That was Bob Nodell, but we agree on the main points.
I mean, that's what happened.
The main thing.
Because that's what happened to me with Glowbusters. They invite me on Glowbusters, all nice and cheery. As soon as I disagree with what they said, then all of a sudden they started attacking me and saying I'm a shill and blah, blah, blah. And like, okay, I just didn't agree with what you said. You know what I mean? And that's why we are excommunicated, guys.
Yeah.
Excommunicado.
Pope Whitsitt said so.
Yeah.
In it. Go on, John Wick.
You've got to be communicated to be excommunicated.
Aaron Armstrong, thank you again for another $5 super chat. He says, I am not an atheist, but I don't follow an organized religion. I have morals. I try my best to do no harm to others. Well, thank you very much. That's interesting. He's not an atheist. I would like to know which God you do serve. That would be an interesting discussion.
But I don't follow a religion either.
Exactly. Christianity.
No, I don't.
One thing I want to explain to people.
There's only one God.
Yeah, one thing I want to explain to people. Christianity is not a religion. It's a way of life. It's a relationship with God. They label it a religion because they placed it under Catholicism, which is a cult.
Exactly.
Which is a cult, which is a religion. So every time someone says, oh, but the Pope or the Catholics is not Christian, guys. Catholicism is totally not Christian. Although they try and place us in the same ballpark, it's not the same thing. So people have to get that distinction right.
Yeah, that's it. That is definitely religion, Catholicism, without that.
Mm-hmm.
But like Christianity, it's more of it's a relationship with God. You know what I mean? Relationship with Jesus.
Exactly. I mean, going to church doesn't make you a Christian.
No.
I mean, that's why you get a lot of Christians today. They don't actually go to church because it's, how can I put it? It's almost empty because you go there, you're doing a type of ritual. You're not. It's good to have fellowship and stuff in a church. I'm not saying that, but it's got to do. I don't go to church because I'm a Christian. You go because you want to have fellowship.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of nonsense going on in the churches. Let's face it.
Yep.
Definitely.
So it's really hard to find a good church where there's sound doctrine and people are acting correctly.
Exactly.
People yelling in tongues back and forth. You got people howling and barking. I've seen one guy running up and down the aisles. That's insanity.
See, I've been looking for a church for 5 years, and just in my village alone, there must be 10 churches. You know what I mean? So why am I struggling to find one?
Michael, you know what the church is? Whenever we're talking about the Lord, that's the church.
Exactly.
Okay, but it is good. You need people to fellowship with because iron sharpens iron. That's a fact. I mean, you can't be a Lone Ranger Christian. You will fall somewhere, and there'll be nobody there to pick you up. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
The church was always supposed to be a hospital for the sick, never a museum for the saints.
Yes, man. Yeah, thank you. Please hit that like buttons, guys. Hit the like buttons and share the show. Unfortunately, we can only go on for another half an hour about because the power's going to go off. And by the way, tomorrow night, Monday night and Wednesday night, the show is going to be 2 hours late. So it's going to be at 11 o'clock CAT because they're changing our scheduled times for the power. So, going to be tired that week.
Okay, Flatzoid, the other day you said something about a baboon.
Yesterday.
Yesterday,
So
that
let
was
me
funny.
ask you a question, because I'm going to be really jealous. Can you drive somewhere to see a lion if you wanted to?
Yeah, 5 kilometers down the road.
Oh, you son of a gun. I'm coming to visit.
Yeah, I mean, I can literally just hop in the car. 5 minutes later, I'm in a nature reserve. I drive next to a nature reserve, a kilometer away from my home.
But
So, yeah.
when you live in these places, it just becomes norm, doesn't it? You know, to us, it's like, wow, love to go and see some elephants, some rhinos, some lions.
Neil,
You know, what I mean, it's just everyday thing for Flatzoid.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Neil, you can't see Orion. You should be able to see Orion from Alabama.
It's flat, remember?
Actually, Flatzoid, I'm waving to you right now. Can you see me out the window?
Oh man, it must be the bendy crane refraction. I'm sorry, I can't see anything.
Hey, who said that? If you had a large enough telescope,
You can see your back of your head. Someone I was debating actually said that. Who was it? Was it Katz? Or was it McToon? I think it was McToon. McToon says if it was based on the perfect refraction or something.
if the right enough atmosphere and a large enough telescope, you'd be able to see your own arse or your own back of your head.
Exactly.
That was sad.
Yeah, I often bring that one up because that was when I first heard that. I was like, I thought it was a joke. I actually thought it was a joke, and I was like, then I heard I heard say it. Rumpus. I heard say it when I was on Brandon's. I think Brandon's show. Yeah, Rumpus. I could not believe it. It's an unbelievable claim, man, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Skeptic also says Toon. Yeah, it was definitely Toon. I see. I so badly wanted to do a video on Dave McKeegan today. But yeah, it was just impossible with the Wi-Fi and the power and stuff off the whole time. Because
You
Neil
gotta say it right, Flatzoid. Dave Triangles McKeegan.
Triangles McKeegan. Did you see his latest video, Neil?
No.
I heard about it. No, I didn't see it though.
Wow. I can debunk it in 10 seconds flat. Let's do it now quickly. Let's debunk it now. How's that, guys?
Go for it,
Yeah,
man.
go for it.
I'm gonna first quickly go to his video where he makes a claim, and then I'm gonna quickly bring another video up.
What, does it debunk himself?
No, I'm gonna debunk him in like 2 seconds. Don't even need 10 seconds, to be honest.
It's done though, isn't it? With triangles, that's killed him. Like there's like an headless corpse in here at a minute.
Yep. Okay, let's quickly. Oh, I gotta probably share the screen for you guys, correct? That would help. Okay, share screen. Entire screen. Share. Okay. I want to go to where he makes this claim. I mean, he debunks himself left, right, and center, everything he's been saying anyway. But
Yeah.
I think it's about you.
that the calculations, when done based on a flat Earth, never end up producing close to a consistent distance. At 80 degrees latitude, the calculated height is 3,913 miles above Earth. By 40 degrees latitude, it's down to 2,894 miles. At 10 degrees, it's only 973 miles. And by the equator, the calculated height is 0.
Okay, first I gotta say,
there's no height.
Exactly. He doesn't get it an apparent altitude change. Okay, now you see what he's now done, guys. Let's quickly debunk this. Let's go to my channel again. I'm going to get when I had McToon on. Oh, you know what? I didn't even have to do that. We can go to... I can quickly go to Discord. I'm going to quickly go to Discord. Get McToon's chat up. This is how sad it is. McToons. Go. Okay. You guys can see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a debunk of it. Dave McKeegan. This is my flask on my tile floor here. I measured different degree measurements to that flask, correct? Is that flask physically getting smaller and is it physically dropping? Or is it just changing because of the apparent angular size change due to perspective? Here's the actual distances. And this was the actual measurements. So Dave McKeegan, tell me, based on this, what is the height of my flask? McToon has not yet been able to answer this. And it's been, what, 3-4 months?
About that, yeah.
And,
about 4, I'd say.
And I've had the Zorg or Zebra or something attempt to do it. He gave 3 different measurements and they were all wrong.
In Dev's video, is he claiming height to a star?
Yes, he is. This is how moronic the guys...
He's debunking his own heliocentrism then with his own stupid idea.
This is how moronic these guys are. They don't understand it's an apparent altitude measurement based on a flat Earth measurement. A triangle, a 90-degree angle based from a horizontal.
It's actually sad.
It is. How does he think they got the latitude lines? Another debunk that he has on there is he claimed, oh, remember Nathan, I asked you, why do you have the latitudes getting from the equator to the north? Why is that? And then you see it again. Because it's measured in a quadrant. We've explained this as well to the guy. Oh, what happened? Oh, shit. Guys, it dropped. I clicked the wrong button. Got to get back into Element. Got to unmute. Sorry about that. I pressed the wrong button. I had to
just said it.
I first had to create a new tab and I didn't. You see, guys, I do get things wrong.
I do it all the time. It's a nightmare.
Terry Winter, I'm going to do that now. I've shown this many times before. This is how it was done. This is how your latitude lines were derived, guys. We have, let's say, McToon standing directly under the zenith of Polaris. That would be a geographical position. Okay? It's a 90-degree angle. A triangle, you see that? So, his latitude is 0 degrees. Why? Because he's directly underneath it. Now he moves away 600 nautical miles. That would be 60 nautical miles per degree. Is it not? 69 statute miles per degree. Anyway, he moves 600 nautical miles. Now, Polaris, has it physically dropped to 80 degrees or has he measured it as an apparent altitude angle at 80 degrees? Anybody know? Has it physically dropped? Or is he just measuring it at 80 degrees? Remember, to have an angle measurement, you need 2 straight lines. There's a horizontal base. There is our co-altitude angle base to give that. Okay? Eventually you go down till you get to the equator. There we go. And that's how you got your distances. Now they say, oh, but look at your graph. It's wrong. No, this was me trying to explain why it would give you your curve if you had to try and somehow place perspective in two-dimensional orthographic, because orthographic isn't perspective based, guys. So just don't worry, that's not about it. But all it is explaining is every 600 nautical miles you go from Polaris, the apparent altitude drop would be 10 degrees. And the reason you have an inconsistency on the horizontal is because it's perspective based. It compresses in the distance. Why would that be? Let's go look at lamp poles quickly.
Well, just imagine you had a guy taking a reading at, I don't know, at like 80 degrees, and then you have a guy taking a reading at 20, both at the same time. How can that be in their way of thinking? Because then it would be in two different places at the same time.
Yeah, but look at this. You would agree these light poles are all at the same height. That one there is at the same height, just like this one. Does it appear to be lower than that one? It does, correct? Is it physically lower, or is it just appearing to be lower? It's appearing.
Appearing.
So now when I take my sextant out and I measure an angle, here, it's going to give me a different angular reading to this one, to that one. Now, what happens? We see they compress to the distance. So that's why the distance compresses, because that star compresses in the distance. So therefore you have your linear relationship, all because it's a perspective view. That's it. It's simple as that. And that's how your globe was derived, guys. Let's quickly go.
They never understand perspective, though, right, Flats?
No, it's the most evil word you can say to a glober. How dare you say perspective? Okay, but let's do this now. We've taken... Oh, why is it... Can you only go the one way? Okay, anyway. We're going to do it this way. When you measure, you got a quadrant. This is just a quadrant of a sphere now. You have measured now the star at different locations to... Sorry, I just want to make it so I can move it. This is Polaris now. And you are moving away. And you measuring an angle. You're moving away, you're measuring an angle, blah, 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 blah. Now you say, but that's now, you've got all your measurements. That apparent angle of the star is dropping. It's not the physical star dropping. It's apparent. Why? Because of perspective. So as soon as you get to the angle that's too acute, it's going to be at ground. Why? That would be your equator.
It just seems lower in the sky because distance you're moving away.
Exactly. It's not physically dropping. Now they say, you see, because now you measure it at different elevations, therefore it's not working. No, you retard.
Well, they claim reason it looks lower is because you are dropping away down back over a curve, but you can't measure an elevation angle on a curved surface. So
exactly. The whole measurement is based on a right angle triangle measurement. Horizontal baseline, your elevation angle is horizontal, guys. You are taking what we see in optics and hijacking it as physical. Now, Mr. Moron McKeegan, you got a a measurement of the quadrant. That has given you now your quadrant of a sphere. Let's copy and paste it. Where's Flip now? You're just going to copy and paste it 4 times, and that would give you your complete sphere. And that would give you a 360-degree angle. You don't measure 360 degrees. You only measure 90 degrees. That's the 90 degree you measure. Your globe takes the angle you measured to the GP and duplicates it to the center of Earth to get your angle measurement. That's why you got the Haversine formula. It comes after the flat baseline measurement. Afterwards. It's just a duplication of the angle. That's why you guys have to the center. You have your equatorial plane. That equatorial plane, remember that I showed you? This is the equatorial plane. It's based on you standing on the surface of Earth, taking an angle measurement to the star, and you guys take it and say, hang on, we need to stick it to our center of Earth, and you just move it down and duplicate the angle. That's how your globe was derived. It's a pleasure.
Nah.
Nah.
And that's why when they come with this, but yeah, what about bubble sextants in planes and whatever? It's parallel to the horizontal, parallel to the horizon. Do you know what that means? If you measure a 90-degree angle and it's parallel to another 90-degree angle, there's no curve.
But if you
still
claim,
got to deal with a horizontal baseline.
Exactly.
if you want to switch it to bubble, then you've got to admit that horizon's horizontal.
Exactly.
Correct.
No way around it.
Hey, Daz, good to see you, mate. Yeah. Well, I think it was a good stream. Nonetheless, we got to get that out. But yeah, I'm still going to be making the video on Mr. Triangle McKeegan.
I was even making videos after defeating himself that bad. It's crazy.
The thing is, he told if he wants to debate me. I'm still waiting for that to happen. I don't know what it's going to be about, but apparently it's about claims I made about photography. Just like the claims I made last time when he came on FTFE show, and he made my point valid when talking about focal length.
So it can't debate Globe Earth no more because he's defeated that with his own argument. He wants to try and trip you up now on photography like that, somewhere disprove shape of Earth.
He's an undercover glober. He's a flat earth undercover as a glober, guys.
An idiot.
That's being diplomatic.
That's not. I'm like that is an honest comment. He's an idiot. He's already made a comment that backs up what Tenth's been teaching for elevation angles and celestial navigation for the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is defended that with his own comment and then wants to argue against it.
Yeah.
That is definition of an idiot.
Exactly. Have you guys seen Alan Armstrong's latest clock?
Yeah, it's
awesome.
His latest one? You mean the one from Back to the Future, or is there another one since then?
Yeah, the one from Back to the Future. He's
it's cool. It's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
And have you noticed on that clock Australia's normal size?
Yeah. I was wanting to say the same thing. Actually, all the continents are the normal size.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Cool clock though.
It's cool.
Mikey's got one, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I wish I could get hands on one actually, like.
Well, he does have a few printed as far as I know.
Yeah.
And you see, because I'm special, I have the high definition. Aye. I got some awesome things I want to do with it.
Hey, Flatzoid, did you guys see where I fell through the ceiling?
Yes, you showed it yesterday. If you guys missed it, you have to. Oh, Neil, someone's made a short about that for you. Do you know that? You want to check it out?
Where is it? Put it up.
I want to get it again. It's actually quite funny. Where was it?
Shots.
There we go, gravity.
The earth was accelerating up, it would have just caught me. Because we're doing air conditioning and I fell right through the ceiling and landed on freaking wires that caught me. If the earth was accelerating up, I would have had a nice and easy fall to the ground.
Yeah, but that's what you Floyd said, hey, Floyd, don't be racist. Don't be racist or I'll tell ABC News about you. The Floor said, we don't care. But that's the thing. I was trying to explain to him, very nicely by the way, why it would not work. I'm tired, Floor. I don't care. Oh, well then I'll get that gravity canceled. Here's some broken notes for you, fucker. Oh, shit.
The earth was accelerating.
Brilliant.
That's funny.
Remember, because I don't know if you know, if you heard, Neil, Dell is saying acceleration is only an effect. It's not physical.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. I was catching most of it, but he's very frustrating, that guy.
Yeah, well, he's still going on with it about today. So,
What's even more frustrating is in chat, you had Rachie like arguing. Adam was trying to explain it to her. She wasn't getting it. So,
well, Rachie did agree. Rachie did agree to come talk sometime, so that would be great if she can come in.
That'd be cool.
Because there's so much problems with that accelerating Earth upwards. It's not funny, and I couldn't even get to half of it with Dal. Because I had to explain to him basics. I had to explain basic physics to him. I don't know why.
So, Flatzoid, so that means he can't use the physics on Earth that are used here if he's going to say it's accelerating upwards, right?
Exactly.
Those have to go out the window. And I don't think he's understanding that.
Yeah, but I mean, let's put it this way. If acceleration is not physical, I'm sure someone has shot a gun before. Is that bullet having physical acceleration? Or is that bullet just having an effect of acceleration?
Hey, there are many deer that get hunted that'll tell you that bullet accelerated through my chest.
Exactly.
How we doing, Discord?
Hey, Discord, good to see you, mate. And Paul, good to see you back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Paul.
Because the thing is, he says when something's dropped, it only has the appearance as if it's falling, aka general relativity, guys. And it's it's not physically, it's only having the appearance because it's decelerating, not accelerating.
It does. Sorry, I was just checking my mic. It didn't work on another thing, so I didn't mean to interrupt.
No stress, mate. I have to anyway close the show because the power's going off in 5 minutes, which sucks.
What goes off? The power?
Yeah. The power.
Oh, okay. That's a different story.
Because I do not have free power. I got to find power, guys. I got to get this free power. I got to hook into it.
Yeah.
Go see Witsit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He thinks he's Tesla.
I think all I got to do is live in a cathedral. Maybe that will help or something. Or build
that might help. Yeah.
Build myself
them spires.
or build pyramids or something. I don't know.
Get the power off from the ether with them spires and all that.
I told you I'm going to nick a weather vane off near his chair.
You gotta set up a little, electric bike thing. What is it? Those. It's not a real bike, but people sit and do exercise on it.
Exercise bikes,
Set up a system with those and get people to come and exercise for free on your bikes and and power use the electricity on a power bank or something. Set up a little biking gym.
That's like on that. Can you remember that TV program?
TV show, Black Mirror.
Black Mirrors, that's what they were doing, and they weren't it on exercise.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys, sorry I have to say, but I have to close this stream, unfortunately, because the power's about to go off. But I appreciate you all coming on. Appreciate Aaron for coming on, for having a nice discourse. It was good to have him. So thanks.
It was. Yeah.
Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you for the super chats, for the hitting that like button and sharing the show. Tomorrow night it's going to be this time, starting like we're ending now. Tomorrow night it's starting. Okay.
I'll not be here tomorrow. Don't forget.
Yeah, you're going to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. You made that sound.
I'm going to sleep. What, are you doing some kind of sleep test experiment?
No, he's at his mother's. So.
All right, you're getting put to bed. You mean, Elliot?
Yeah.
All right, got you.
Bottle in bed, 10 o'clock.
I wish my mother could still put me to bed sometimes. You know, give me my TV and read me a book. I would enjoy that.
My mum could. My mum could if she wanted, but she just wouldn't let me pass the bloody door.
well, me and my wife were actually joking. We're like, we would love to exchange places with our children again.
Yeah. No, my mum wouldn't let me pass the door. She wouldn't let me live there. Like, she'd rather me be on the street than live with her.
Shame.
But listen. My mum knows Earth's flat, so there.
Yeah, but you got an awesome mom.
She's quite open to things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just like it didn't come as a shock to me finding out that they were lying about shape of Earth. It ain't my mum either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so cheers, guys. I have to go. Till tomorrow night. See you guys 11 o'clock CAT.
Alrighty.
Awesome. Many blessings, and may the pressure be with you. Cheers.